Hello, Jason Beeks here. Back in 2008, some of you all may remember this movie. Um, it was called Mirrors. Um, and in this movie, Mirrors, and I think they made some sequels to it or whatever, at least one other sequel. But in this movie, basically what it was about is that a person would look in the mirror and they would see themselves. However, it was not exactly themselves. Like it would have the appearance of themselves, but it would be its own separate person because you would look right, they'll look up, or you look down, they look left. So it looked like you, but it was not you. It was really creepy movie, like most all scary movies are. Okay. Um, so what was that movie about? When I watched it back then, I didn't know. Thank God I've learned a lot, since those days. But what that was is what we know as a familiar spirit. Okay. So you know, you probably learned that familiar spirit is someone that knows all about you or someone that knows all about someone else. And that is true. That is what a familiar spirit is. But it goes much deeper than that. Not only does a familiar spirit um, knows about you, the familiar spirit wants to become you. Okay. And just like in the Mirrors movie, that was a familiar spirit. They looked in the mirror and there's an entity that looked back at them that looks just like them, but it was its own separate entity. And that's a familiar spirit. It wants to become you. It familiarizes itself with you because it wants to become you. And guess what? If you're not careful, this thing will overcome you and possess you and will live out its purposes uh, in your body, becoming you. Okay. And I know that's a little deep, but I just want to share that because a lot of what I want to share on this channel is about the supernatural realm. Okay. And familiar spirits are part of the supernatural realm. But another reason I want to share this is because there was a video circulating of a minister who was basically showing his congregation this, what he called an angel. Okay. And he said this angel was, and you saw this angel and they had a video or something like in this camera footage of this video camera footage of this so-called angel. And the angel, this thing, you really couldn't see it. It was just kind of silhouette, but it was dressed just like this minister dresses. Okay. And it looked like him. It had the build, this person's build. And he was saying it was an angel, but really what it was is a familiar spirit. Okay, first of all, because this thing was not an angel. Okay, first of all, an angel is when you see an angel and you know it's an angel, there's a holiness about it. Okay, there's a holiness about it. It's not something like I'm not going to say you're not going to be afraid because the angel in scripture always comes saying fear not, but it's not going to be creepy. Okay, there's a difference between being afraid and being creeped out. Okay, as believers, we are to fear God. As humans, we are to fear God, but not to be creeped out by God. You see the difference? And this entity that was on this video camera was creepy. I mean, how it moved, The mannerisms of it, it was just really creepy. It was nothing wholly godly about this thing. And what that was is a familiar spirit. And it made me think of that movie Mirrors, because that's what a familiar spirit is. It's something that, you know, we've come to think that familiar spirit just is this entity that knows, that follows you around and knows everything about you for the purposes to feed, or everything about someone else to feed that person knowledge, you know, psychic ability. But it goes deeper than that. Not only does a familiar spirit know you, it wants to become you. It looks like you. It makes itself have the appearance of you, and it wants to become you. Okay, and it wants to possess you. Okay, like you said, if you're not careful, this thing will, you know, if you're not careful and you indulge in, you know, dark arts and things like that, these things will possess you. Okay. Now, like I said, this was a movie back in 2008. You know, back then I used to love watching some scary movies. You know, I probably was one of the biggest scary movie fans in the world. Okay. And, I did learn a lot about, you know, the supernatural from watching some scary movies. You know, I will say that. But the danger is the atmosphere it creates. Okay, it creates an atmosphere of fear. Okay, especially in these days that we're in now, because I don't know if you all know this, but the veil between this earthly realm and the spiritual realm is very, very thin. You know, so the things that didn't maybe affect you as much some years ago affects you even more now. Is very sensitive, because that veil is really thin. So even just the thing of watching a scary movie, it'll produce a spirit of fear in your whatever atmosphere you're in, where you're watching it in your home or wherever you're at. It'll produce the spirit of fear, and the atmosphere of that spirit, where that spirit of fear dwell, is a comfortable atmosphere for other demonic evil spirits to dwell. Okay, so I don't encourage anybody to watch scary movies. Okay, but this video wasn't intended to be long. I just wanted to teach a little bit about what a familiar spirit is. It's a spirit that knows all about you or someone else and wants to become that person. It wants to actually literally become that person, to the extent that it starts to have the appearance of that person, just like in that movie Mirrors. You all be blessed.